late. I don't know what it is. When I go on vacation, it's like I have to have a vacation after the vacation or something. I don't know. But I'm getting coffee because yesterday I didn't have time to do it. And so today I'm going to do it regardless. But as you guys could probably see the title, Everybody Failed Her. After just gruesome testimony while we were there, and now gruesome testimony from yesterday, we're gonna probably hear, we're still waiting for the medical examiner. Evelyn Boswell was 13 months old when she was unalived, allegedly by her mother. I mean, I can't even comprehend that. Like, how do you become that disconnected and evil and just, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And the more that we listen, the more that it just becomes so gruesome and outrageous and just, Evelyn Boswell deserves justice. At this point, I don't even want to call her Evelyn Boswell. Like, everybody in her family failed her. Everybody, including the grandpa. Thank you, Dumpling. You rock. I love those little emojis. I'm so easily amused. It's like something cute pops up on the screen and I'm like, whoa, squirrel. And everybody's getting sick lately. Please keep us all in your prayers if you pray. Hopefully Dump will feel better soon. We didn't have Turtle Island last night. We're not sick. We're just like recovering from the trip, which it's like the time for us is off. He's actually gotten up at a normal time, so he's like exhausted it by the time it's 9 o'clock. I was just catching up with the rest of yesterday, that media interview. Who was the woman who kept I honestly don't know. I was wondering that same thing. I think it possibly might have been her mother, but I don't know because I couldn't find the information. Oh, and then what I did find out is that Evelyn's boyfriend at the time, we were all wondering, like, how can he just be in a mental facility like 2 months now? Like, how is that possible? Well, it is possible if he is in fact incarcerated and also in a mental institution, if that makes sense. Two things can be true at the same time. He can be incarcerated and also incarcerated in a mental facility. Does that make sense? I don't know what made me look it up, but I looked it up because we were listening to some part of the trial and I realized that they had said he was incarcerated in Virginia. And I was like, wait a minute, Virginia has this big wide database where you can look up their name and look up where they're at and what jail they're in, and so I was like, let me see what I can find. All right, let me grab my coffee, you guys. Hold on just a second.
Hello.
Hello.
What was on your order?
Oh,
Or did you have a mobile order?
mobile order.
Ivana?
Yes.
Sorry, everything's out of black now.
That's okay. It feels like a Monday. Thank you.
Yeah, have a great one.
You too. The same way. Yes, we're back home. We've been back home. We were home yesterday also. It's like this residual thing of where like it takes a minute to recoup and recognize that we're in Virginia at our home. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like it takes a minute to get back to the norms of like, life. But I was talking about Hunter Wood and they were discussing something, and then I realized he was in Virginia, and Virginia has a database where you can search everything you want to know on everybody on the judicial system. And so I just simply typed in first and last name, and his name is not actually Hunter, it's Preston Hunter Wood. I missed it. I missed my coffee yesterday. Thank you, Madonna. Yes, please, guys, hit the like. My channel is a tiny channel. I don't really get much publicity as for, and in order for it to grow, it does help to smash the like, share the channel if you can, that kind of thing. I hate asking for it. I hate it. So today's going to be trial day number 6. State of Tennessee versus Megan Boswell. She is, in my opinion, guilty of sin, and every single time that she lied, it to me admits her guilt even more. Because if you're, let's say she was trying to go for insanity, okay, like let's say she's trying to say postpartum or insanity, she would have to show that she did not know right from wrong. And when you lie, it actually tells people that you know right from wrong, because you are doing extra work to cover up the actual truth, and you're going above and beyond to share a story that's not truthful. So it takes a lot more work to lie than it does to tell the truth, because you got to think about it more. You've got to remember the lie next time you tell the story. And one thing that I noticed about Megan's story, we heard her interview in 2 different news stations. They played, that was part of the evidence, the last piece of evidence before we got out of court yesterday, is the interviews from the news. The news interviews both almost sounded identical. That to me sounds so scripted. She literally rattled off, Baby Shark is her favorite, and her favorite food is sweet potato, and she's just so sweet. And then we had just literally heard her friend testify and share text messages about how Megan was saying how Evelyn was evil or mean or something that wasn't sweet and nice and cute and cuddly. And then we heard her talking about, in one of the interviews yesterday, how the baby pulled out a chunk of her hair, and how she bent down and she was expecting the baby to pull more of her hair out, and all she did was kiss her on her forehead. How do you not cry when you tell that? Like, it's just appalling to me. The entire case is appalling. I don't understand how people become that evil. And then there's actually pictures of Megan and Evelyn from, when she was a tiny baby, and then from when she was a toddler. And they look like a happy, loving mother-daughter duo. Like, this is not something to where the mom was disconnected from the baby and like they just never had a connection or a bond. It's like, this is just simply a case where she just suddenly, just didn't like her baby. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, Nikki, why did Dolly suddenly stop showing court and end his video? He did not. Thank you, Helena. Helena's been here for 5 months. You're amazing. Thank you so much. You're very inspirational to me. I have a hard time sometimes, and it really helps. Thank you so much, Helena. He did not stop suddenly. Court was over, and that was it. Court was over, and then he had been playing with the sound effects, and a lot of people were upset with him for playing on that soundboard while court was going on. But what he did is he was testing new ones, or he was looking at new ones that he's never heard before. And there was a Dr. Phil one where Dr. Phil says to go off yourself. And then there was another one where Dr. Phil called somebody a whore. And those words and those things are frowned upon on YouTube. And so he just figured he was going to take it down. I'm not sure why else, but it's still available on Facebook, I believe. He always does that when he doesn't feel 100% with a video. He just takes it down. It's usually still available on Facebook because he streams to both. So, but that's what he gets. He's the one that was playing with the soundboard, and everybody told him, like, stop playing. But he's going to do what he's going to do. He's always got to touch that fire. Something changed. when she got obsessed with Hunter. I agree. But then it's like, oh my God. And Hunter goes on his interview and he's like, we just casually dated, nothing serious. And I'm just like, oh, that would have just like broke me if I was that into a guy. And he said that on live TV. But then we saw the text message with Megan and her friend Bailey, where Bailey's like, he was just on live TV and he said nothing about how you guys are a couple. He said a bunch of different stuff that, you know, you might want to check him on that. And Megan's like, oh, he's been getting threats to his job, so that's why. And the two people that called Dolly Visions yesterday to say that they think that Megan is not guilty, that was like, are we watching the same trial? How are people so different in their perception? It's like, I get it. Most of the people that think that way have had a situation or an incident of their own. Happy birthday, Kaden. Alright, I'm going to be parked here soon, so I'll be able to chat with you guys. I haven't really been able to look at the chat much because I've been driving. But, you know, I guess this is kind of better than not going live. I might go at lunch today just so I can kind of get out everything I want to say. I have a big notebook that I've been keeping up with all the notes and everything that's been going on with the case. You're kidding. How could you think that she had been told a billion trillion lies? And I don't know. The one lady that we listened to had said that her daughter had passed away also. And so she related to Megan, and clearly Megan is terrified, and clearly Megan is covering for Hunter. And I'm like, you don't think she would have told it by now? Like, you don't think she'd be standing up on that table she's sitting at and screaming that, you know, she's innocent? Go get Hunter. Where's Hunter? I think she would be. Let's see, what else did I miss? She did a 180. She did. It's like she just suddenly became obsessed with Hunter, like the previous chatter said, and she just lost all grips of reality and this is my life now. I'm with Hunter and that's it. And it's just like, one thing that I noticed about the autopsy and the way the baby was placed in that trash can, and what we saw yesterday is a onesie that she was wearing. But her position, which we had already heard of in a prior day, she was in the onesie except for one foot was not in the onesie. Like, you know those full pajama, like PJ footy pajama onesies? That's what she was wearing. But one whole foot was sticking out of the onesie. Did anyone else think that was weird? Like, in what circumstance do you just decide to throw the baby away while she's half dressed? And it's uncomfortable because the zipper is kind of all the way to the crotch area. So in order to take one foot completely out and have the leg hanging out of footy pajamas. Yes, Kaden, yes. No. No. I'm talking about Megan Boswell. Did my thumbnail not show up? It's a picture of baby Evelyn. Evelyn was 13 months old, and Evelyn was placed into a trash can and wrapped in tinfoil around her head in a blanket and then put into a trash bag into the trash can upside down. We're currently watching the court case against Megan Boswell. She's accused of doing that horrific act. But it was unzipped. I mean, right, it was unzipped. I understand that. But like her leg hanging completely out of it, even unzipped, would be uncomfortable. Because it's like the zipper part comes down to your crotch. And so she's got one foot in and one foot out, and it's unzipped. So like, were they like in the middle of a diaper change or something, and suddenly she decides she's gonna wrap this baby up and take her and throw her in the trash? I mean, that seems strange to me. But that's one thing that I just like, I couldn't get past. And I know somebody in my circle had asked, like, what about, is there a chance that, you know, they're, I don't know. I forgot. I'm like in the middle of saying something. I'm just like, what? um, why the tinfoil? I just don't understand. Oh, and then, okay. So then the defense had the investigators up there, and they were getting ready to ask them a couple questions. And one thing he's asking is, well, were there cadaver dogs there? And it's like, what they neglected to remember is that the detective, Gratz, the good one, that he's now an attorney, so he knows how to properly talk to people. He was on stand and he said that they did not smell human decomposition until the baby was unbagged. Or no, the bag was taken out of the trash can. And I believe that is because it was winter, and then I believe the way she was wrapped, which might have been done on purpose, which I think that would qualify for premeditation. But the way she was wrapped with the tinfoil and even with the blanket in the bag, it preserved the scent somewhat. And I believe that it preserved some of the body because they discussed how there was, you know, rigor mortis had set in and a lot of the body was, trigger warning, discolored. But then when we saw the leg, that's the first thing that we were shown in pictures. It's like the playroom or the playhouse. They opened the door, they showed what it looked like in there, and then they showed the trash can, and then the top of the trash can, you could see like a leg. So this trial totally mesmerized me. Mesmerized me. I'm not sure what that means. She's definitely going to go to jail for life, for sure. But it just depends on if she's going to get parole or not. And I wish she had the death penalty on the table because eye for an eye. Anyways, I gotta go into work. I'll see what I can do. I think I might just go live at lunch so that I can kind of get out everything. And I have my notes. We can kind of go over the notes. We've had 26 witnesses so far. Thank you, Sandra. Good morning. Please get your morning Starbucks. I did. Thank you so much. Thank you. I felt for the detective. I did too. The detective, I'm sure, has seen a lot of stuff in his life. And he was just, but he was very good with his speaking. And it helps because you don't really have a hard time understanding. So you know what he's saying. He's looking directly at the jury so they can understand him. They can see him. They can see how serious he is. And I think that helps a lot for the case. So thank God for that. But I gotta run. I will be on at lunch. Catch you guys on the flip side. This car next to me is pulling into the parking spot. I swear it's like they've got to have a backup camera. But at one point, I literally just felt like they were about to hit me. Like we were about to have an accident on camera. Anyways, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Bicycle.